Dear friends, welcome to my video lecture
lecture
on
on
Unit 4
Unit
in
4
education,
in
namely
education,
Teacher
namely
Education, Unit 4.
teacher
Let us
education.
straight
Unit
away
4.
enter into the topic.
Let us straight away enter into the topic.
Welcome to this YouTube live. After so many days I am doing that. I hope there won't be any power cut. I am happy that you people are supporting me always. Thank you very much for your kind presence. Let us straight away enter into the topic. Teacher education. Meaning and nature and scope of teacher education. This is the syllabus. Sorry, I haven't put the mic. I will just do something else. Sorry for distracting you. Teacher education. What is the syllabus? There are 4 parts as usual. This is part A. Meaning, nature and scope of teacher education, types of teacher education, teacher education programs, the structure of teacher education curriculum and its vision and curriculum documents of NCERT and NCTE at elementary, secondary and higher secondary levels. Organization of components of pre-service teacher education, transactional approaches for foundation courses, expository, collaborative and experiential learning. Well, teacher education is a vital aspect of preparing educators for effective teaching practices. Here are the key points and insights on the mentioned topics. What is the meaning, nature and scope of teacher education? Teacher education refers to the process of equipping prospective teachers, that is future teachers, with the necessary knowledge, skills and attitudes to become effective educators. It involves understanding the pedagogical theories, that is teaching theories, classroom management techniques and educational psychology to facilitate learning. The scope includes pre-service training, in-service professional development and continuous learning to stay updated with educational practices. What are the types of teacher education programs? There are various types of teacher education programs including undergraduate programs like B.Ed, postgraduate programs like M.Ed, diploma courses, certification courses and specialized training workshops. These programs cater to the different levels of education such as elementary, secondary and higher education. What is the structure of teacher education curriculum? The teacher education curriculum includes a mix of theoretical foundations, practical teaching experiences and skill development modules. It focuses on subject knowledge, pedagogical techniques, educational psychology, assessment methods and research skills. The curriculum is designed based on the guidelines provided by educational bodies like the National Council of Educational Research and Training (NCERT) and the National Council for Teacher Education (NCTE). What is the vision in curriculum documents of NCERT and NCTE on school education? The curriculum documents of NCERT and NCTE emphasize the holistic development of teachers as reflective practitioners, one who thinks about it deeply and then renders his service. That is the idea, reflective practitioners. They stress the importance of experiential learning, collaborative teaching practices, and the integration of technology in education. The vision is to prepare teachers who can adapt to diverse learning needs, create inclusive classrooms, and foster critical thinking among students. Diverse learning needs. Inclusive classroom means all the students are accepted. I mean, even those who are having some defects, the bodily defects. They are even accepted in today's classrooms, modern classroom, inclusive classrooms, and foster critical thinking among students. What about the organization of components of pre-service teacher education? Pre-service teacher education includes components like foundational courses, subject-specific pedagogy, classroom observations, teaching practicum, that is teaching practicals, and the internship experiences, that is going to other schools and getting some real experience, field experience, like that is internship experiences. Then translational approaches in teacher education involve expository methods, lectures, demonstrations, etc., collaborative learning, group discussions, peer teaching, etc., and experiential learning, simulation activities, pavane nadipunno. Sometimes we kill the frogs in the lab. No? Instead of killing the frogs, so many frogs, you kill one frog and then take the video and then give it in the class. That is called simulation activities. So experiential learning, simulation activities, field work, etc. These insights highlight the importance of comprehensive teacher education programs that prepare educators to meet the dynamic demands of the education sector and cater to the diverse needs of learners. Of course, the same thing is repeated here. What is the meaning, nature and scope of teacher education? Just to revise in a way. Teacher education refers to the policies, procedures and provision designed to equip prospective teachers with the knowledge, attitudes and behaviors and skills required for teaching. It encompasses both initial teacher training pre-service and continuing professional development, that is in service. What is the nature of this teacher education? What is the nature? Characteristics: multidisciplinary, integrating various fields such as psychology, sociology, philosophy and pedagogy. Dynamic and evolving, adapting to educational reforms and societal needs. Then dynamic and evolving, adapting to educational, that is ever growthful, always becoming something new or adding something new, novel. Dynamic and evolving, adapting to educational reforms and societal needs. Both theoretical and practical, focusing on pedagogical skills, that is teaching skills, subject knowledge and professional attitudes. Professional attitude means a teacher is for 24 hours, is a service oriented work. Actually it is a vocation, not work as such. So that way. What is the scope of teacher education? It is very broad, covering pre-service education, in-service education and professional development also. Because a teacher is an ongoing learner. He never finishes his learning at some moment of time. Always he is learning and learning. That is called a professional development by undergoing various courses. Then teacher education addresses the needs of educators at various levels, from elementary to higher education. It includes diverse programs such as B.Ed, M.Ed, diploma courses and workshops. What are the educational implications? It ensures teachers are well prepared, improving the quality of education. It encourages lifelong learning and professional growth among teachers. It helps in the development of reflective practitioners who can adapt to changes and challenges in the educational landscape. So these are all the scope, the educational implications of teacher education. I hope you understood. No? So most important thing, reflective practitioners. Teacher education always make the teachers more and more reflective about their nature of work. Reflective practitioners. What are the types of teacher education programs? Just now we have seen that, we are repeating it. Pre-service programs, courses and training provided before an individual begins the teaching career, such as B.Ed, diploma elementary education, diploma of elementary education, integrated B.Ed M.Ed programs nowadays. Then in-service programs, ongoing professional development for practicing teachers, including workshops, seminars, refresher courses, and online training. In-service programs, while the teachers are working, already they have got into the service, now they are having some new courses, that is called in-service programs. Okay, educational implications. Pre-service programs ensure teachers enter the profession with a solid foundation in educational theory and practice. In-service programs keep teachers updated with the latest educational trends, technologies and methodologies, promoting continuous development. What is the structure of teacher education? Curriculum and its vision in curriculum documents of NCERT and NCT. How NCERT and NCT talks about the structure of teacher education. NCERT, that is National Council of Educational Research and Training, emphasizes child-centered pedagogy, inclusive education, and the development of critical and creative thinking skills. So this is what it holds for all the stages of education. Primary, schooling, even colleges. So National Council of Educational Research and Training emphasizes child-centered pedagogy, inclusive education, that is all the students should be accepted, dull, average, gifted, physically deficient children, whoever it may be. And the development of critical and creative thinking skills, that's also very important. Yeah, among the teachers, they should be highly developing what you call the creative and critical thinking skills. விமர்சன பார்வையோடு இருக்கக்கூடிய அந்த திறன்கள். Then NCT, National Council for Teacher Education, it focuses on producing competent, committed and reflective teachers who can adapt to diverse learning environments. With regard to the structures, at the elementary level, emphasis on foundational literacy and numeracy. Basic skills, in arithmetic, language, etc. So foundational theory, literacy and numeracy, child development, inclusive education and basic pedagogical skills at the elementary level. That is the structure. What is the structure at the secondary level? Focus on subject specific pedagogy, adolescent psychology, curriculum planning and assessment strategies. These are all there in the secondary level. That is the structure of teacher education for the secondary level. That is subject specific pedagogy. Adolescent psychology is a must, because that is the stage, from 11 to 16 years. That is the stage. So focus on subject specific pedagogy, adolescent psychology, curriculum planning and assessment strategies. At the higher secondary level, advanced subject pedagogy, research skills, educational leadership and specialization in educational technology. What are the educational implications? Structured and coherent curriculum, that is a logical curriculum, aligned with, linked with the educational goals, ensures comprehensive teacher preparation, whole teacher preparation, in other words, complete teacher preparation. So the structured and coherent curriculum aligned with the educational goals ensures comprehensive teacher preparation. Emphasis on inclusive and child-centered education fosters an equitable learning environment. Research and specialization components encourage innovation and leadership in education. Then with regard to organization of components of pre-service teacher education, what are the components? Foundation courses cover the philosophical, sociological, and psychological basis of education. These are all called foundation courses in teacher education. Then pedagogy of the school subjects, subject-specific teaching methodologies and strategies. I mean, how to teach a particular subject with regard to the content, how the content should be presented. That is pedagogy of school subjects. Then practical training, it includes internships, that is exposure training in a school, in any educational institution. So it includes internships, teaching practice and classroom observations. Then electives and specializations. Allow teachers to focus on specific interests or needs, such as special education or educational technology. These are all components, organization of components of pre-service teacher education. What are the educational implications? Comprehensive training prepares teachers for real classroom challenges. Practical experience bridges the gap between theory and practice. Electives and specialization allow for tailored professional development. I mean that suits to the students. Tailored professional development addressing diverse educational needs. Then transactional approaches for foundation courses. Expository, collaborative and experiential learning. What can we say about these concepts? Expository learning. Teacher-centered approach where information is presented in a structured manner, that is expository learning. Focus on delivering content clearly and effectively. That is called expository learning. There is collaborative learning, student-centered approach that involves students working together to solve problems, complete tasks or understand concepts. That is collaborative learning. It encourages, that is collaborative learning encourages peer interaction, critical thinking and teamwork. Now let us discuss on the experiential learning. What is experiential learning? Learning through direct experience, often involving hands-on activities, real-world problem solving and reflection. It is based on Kolb's experiential learning theory, which emphasizes the cycle of concrete experience, reflective observation, abstract conceptualization and active experimentation. So it's a Kolb's experiential learning theory. Okay, based on that only we talk about this concept experiential learning. Kolb's experiential learning theory. It emphasizes the cycle of concrete experience, reflective observation, abstract conceptualization and active experimentation. What is abstract conceptualization? That is nothing but you are making them understand the difficult concept through concrete object something. So abstract conceptualization and active experimentation. Then educational implications. What are the educational implications? Expository learning. It ensures clarity and thorough understanding of foundational concepts. அடிப்படையான அந்த கருத்துக்கள் புரிந்து கொள்ள foundational concepts. Then collaborative learning fosters social skills, communication and cooperative learning environment. With regard to experiential learning, it enhances practical skills, critical thinking and the ability to apply knowledge in real world situations. In summary, we can say effective teacher education programs are comprehensive, integrating theoretical knowledge with the practical experience and employing various learning approaches to prepare competent, reflective and adaptive educators. I suppose you understand all this. We have given it in Tamil in the earlier videos. Now you should be able to understand all these words. I am sure about it. What is the primary aim of teacher education? To enhance the content knowledge of teachers, to develop the professional competencies of teachers, to prepare teachers for administrative roles, or to improve the physical health of teachers. So what is the primary aim of teacher education? That is to develop the professional competencies of teachers. Teacher education aims to develop the professional competencies of teachers, equipping them with the necessary skills, knowledge and attitudes to effectively facilitate student learning. So that is the right answer. To develop the professional competencies of teachers, that is the main aim of teacher education. Which of the following best describes the scope of teacher education? It only includes pre-service training. It encompasses both pre-service and in-service training. It is limited to secondary education. It focuses exclusively on curriculum development. What should be the correct answer? It encompasses both pre-service and in-service training. That is the idea. So, which best describes the scope of teacher education? It encompasses both pre-service and in-service training. The scope of teacher education includes both pre-service and in-service training, ensuring continuous professional development and lifelong learning for teachers. Next question, what is the nature of teacher education in the context of professional development? Static and unchanging, dynamic and evolving, redundant and unnecessary, that is stagnant, then limited to theoretical knowledge, What should be the nature of teacher education in the context of professional development? That is dynamic and evolving, ever growthful. Always, something new is being added. Novel, in other words. So dynamic and evolving. Teacher education is dynamic and evolving, continually adapting to new educational research, policies, and the needs of students and society. Why is reflective practice important in teacher education? Reflective practice, that is thinking deeply on the things that a teacher has to do. The reflective practice. It helps teachers memorize content. It allows teachers to critique their own practices. It reduces the workload of teachers. It focuses on administrative tasks. What is the purpose of this reflective practice in teacher education? That is, it allows teachers, it allows teachers to critique their own practices. Their own practices, teaching practices are criticized by themselves. In other words, they are reflecting on how they teach and what are the gaps of knowledge there and what they should improve, all these things. So it allows teachers to critique their own practices. Reflective practice is crucial in teacher education as it encourages teachers to critically analyze their teaching methods, identify areas for improvement, and enhance their professional growth. With regard to the types of teacher education programs, what question you could ask? Which of the following is a type of teacher education program? Bachelor of Education, B.Ed, Master of Science, M.Sc, Bachelor of Arts, B.A, Doctor of Medicine. Of course, in education we have to talk about Bachelor of Education, right? So, Bachelor of Education. Bachelor of Education is a specific teacher education program designed to prepare individuals for teaching careers at various educational levels. What distinguishes an integrated teacher education program? Integrated teacher education. So recently we are having integrated teacher education program that is for 4 years now. Along with the content, teaching methods, techniques are also learned. That is integrated teacher education program. So what is the difference here? It combines a teacher training with other professional courses. It is offered exclusively online. It focuses solely on primary education. It is shorter in duration than traditional programs. What should be the right answer? It combines teacher training with the professional courses. There are professional courses, there are different disciplines, different subjects. So it combines teacher education with those subjects. That is the idea here. So integrated teacher education programs combine teacher training with other professional courses, providing a comprehensive education that prepares teachers for a diverse range of educational settings. Okay. What is a significant feature of in-service teacher education programs? Very important feature of in-service teacher education program. Alternatives have been given. They are conducted before teachers begin their careers. They focus on initial teacher training. They provide ongoing professional development for practicing teachers. They are unrelated to classroom teaching. What is a significant feature of in-service teacher education program? They provide ongoing professional development for practicing teachers. So they provide ongoing professional development for practicing teachers. What is the question? What is the important aspect of in-service teacher education program? In-service programs, teacher programs provide ongoing professional development for practicing teachers. In-service teacher education program provide ongoing professional development for practicing teachers, helping them stay updated with the new teaching methods and educational research. Which program is specifically designed for elementary school teachers? Diploma in Elementary Education, Bachelor of Technology, Master of Business Administration, Doctor of Philosophy. Of course, with regard to elementary school teachers, what should be the title? That is Diploma in Elementary Education, DELED. So, Diploma in Elementary Education is a program specifically designed to prepare individuals for teaching roles in elementary schools. Now let us talk about the structure of teacher education curriculum and its vision in curriculum documents of NCERT and NCTE at different levels of teaching. According to the NCTE, what should the teacher education curriculum be at the elementary level? In other words, what should the teacher education curriculum at the elementary level emphasize? According to NCTE, advanced research methodologies, basic pedagogical skills and child development, administrative and managerial skills, and higher education policies. Of course, that is, according to the NCTE, this one is very important, basic pedagogical skills and child development. The NCTE emphasizes that the teacher education curriculum at the elementary level should focus on basic pedagogical skills and an understanding of child development to effectively teach young learners. Now, what is the primary vision of NCERT for secondary level teacher education? Primary vision of NCERT for secondary level of teacher education: to create subject matter experts, to develop holistic educators who can address diverse learning needs, to train teachers in administrative tasks, to prepare teachers for international teaching positions. What is the idea here? The primary vision of NCERT with regard to secondary level teacher education should be to develop holistic educators who can address diverse learning needs. All-rounded development, even teachers needs to get all-rounded development in their teaching career. Now that is the idea here, to develop holistic educators who can address diverse learning needs. NCERT envisions secondary level teacher education to develop holistic educators who can address the diverse learning needs of students and foster an inclusive learning environment. That is, accepting all the students, not hating the dull students, loving every other students in the class, inclusive learning environment. Which document outlines the vision and structure of teacher education in India? National Education Policy, National Curriculum Framework for Teacher Education, National Policy on Education, National Teacher Training Act. So what is the question? Which document outlines the vision and structure of teacher education in India? The National Curriculum Framework for Teacher Education, that is NCTE. The National Curriculum Framework for Teacher Education outlines the vision, structure and guidelines for teacher education in India, providing a comprehensive framework for training quality teachers. What is the focus of the teacher education curriculum at the higher secondary level according to NCERT? Specialized subject knowledge and research skills, general knowledge and basic teaching skills, physical education and extracurricular activities, administrative and clerical skills. So what is the focus of teacher education curriculum at higher secondary level according to NCERT? That is specialized subject knowledge and research skills also. So it promotes research skills among the teacher educators, specialized subject knowledge and research skills. So at the higher secondary level, the NCERT focuses on providing specialized subject knowledge and research skills to prepare teachers to deliver advanced content and support students' higher order thinking. So higher order thinking means problem solving ability of the students. So memory, understanding, analysis, synthesis and higher problem solving, that is the highest. So higher order thinking means analysis, synthesis, application, all these things, and finally problem solving. So in order to do that, the teacher has to become research oriented. They must be having specialized subject knowledge, the mastery of the subject, advanced mastery of the subject matter. So that is the idea here. Then with regard to organization of components of pre-service teacher education, what question we could ask? Which component is essential in pre-service teacher education? Field experience, student teaching, only theoretical coursework, administrative training, extracurricular activities, so many things are there. So which component is essential in pre-service teacher education? Field experience and student teaching. So that is at the that is for the pre-service teacher education. That means that the B.Ed, then the teacher training experience, all these come under this. Field experience and student teaching. Field experience and student teaching are essential components of pre-service teacher education, providing practical, hands-on experience in classroom settings and preparing candidates for real-world teaching. What role do foundational courses play in pre-service teacher education? They are optional and can be skipped? No. They provide the theoretical basis for teaching practices. Is it true? They focus on extracurricular development. They emphasize administrative skills. So which is the right one? What role do foundation courses play in pre-service teacher education? They provide the theoretical basis for teaching practices. That is the foundation course. Foundation subjects, philosophy, sociology and psychology, foundational courses. So they provide a theoretical basis for teaching practices. Foundation courses in pre-service teacher education provide the theoretical underpinnings for teaching practices covering essential topics such as educational psychology, pedagogy and curriculum development. Next question, how is collaborative learning implemented in pre-service teachers education? Collaborative learning. கூட்டு சேர்ந்து கற்றல், இணைந்து கற்றல், collaborative learning. Through independent study projects, through group activities and peer teaching, by focusing solely on lecture-based teaching, by assigning individual homework. So collaborating means in groups only, இணைந்து கற்றல் means already groups come in there. So through group activities and peer teaching. So that is the right answer. How is collaborative learning implemented in pre-service teacher education? Through group activities and peer teaching. The teaching is done before, the student themselves, their friends themselves. That is peer teaching, The collaborative learning in pre-service teacher education is implemented through group activities and peer teaching, fostering teamwork, communication and cooperative problem-solving skills. Why is experiential learning important in pre-service teacher education? Why is experiential learning important in pre-service teacher education? Of course, experience matters a lot for a teacher, so that he is able to become the master of the students, master for the students, or facilitator of the content of the students. So the experiential learning important in pre-service teacher education for what? For what reason? It reduces the need for formal assessments. It allows trainees to learn through direct experiences and reflection. It focuses on theoretical knowledge only. It eliminates the need for classroom observations. So this allows, that is experiential learning, allows trainees to learn through direct experience and reflection. So experiential learning is important in pre-service teacher education as it enables trainees to gain knowledge and skills through direct experience, reflection and practical application in real life teaching scenarios. Now we go for part 2, namely the B, part B. There we are going to discuss on some important topics like understanding knowledge base of teacher education from the viewpoint of Schulman, Deng and Luke and Habermas. So these are all experts in teaching learning process, and so we are going to understand the knowledge base of teacher education through these people. The meaning of reflective teaching and strategies for promoting reflective teaching. Reflective teaching we already said. Pradibalipu karpital, pradibalipu. Often the teacher has to think about his own teaching and then he has to change it. So, through deep thinking only that will come. That is a reflective teaching. Then the strategies for promoting reflective teaching. The same should be shifted to the minds of the student. Reflective learning. So that is the idea here. Then models of teacher education. Behavioristic, competency based and inquiry oriented teacher education models. Understanding knowledge base of teacher education. How? From the viewpoint of Schulman, Deng and Luke and Habermas. Who is the Schulman? What did he contribute to teaching learning process? He is the author of pedagogical content knowledge. Please, this may be asked. And Schulman, he has discovered a particular concept for teachers, namely pedagogical content knowledge, PCK. P means pedagogy, C means content, K means knowledge. Schulman introduced the concept of PCK, that is pedagogical content knowledge, emphasizing the blend of content and pedagogy, that is teaching methods, pedagogy means, essential for effective teaching. Teachers need to know how to transform subject matter for teaching. Here he makes a difference between subject matter and teaching content. The subject matter should be changed into teaching content. That is something different. Subject matter is something personal, no? Ideas are there. But how the teacher is presenting that is content to the students. So that is what he is concerned about. Pedagogical content knowledge means that is the one. Teachers need to know how to transform the subject matter for teaching, effective teaching. In other words, the subject matter should be done in the most interesting manner for the students. It should be changed according to the needs of the students, according to the understanding level of the students. So there are two different things. Subject matter is there for the teacher. At the same time, you should be able to deliver the subject matter to the students. That's very important. How effectively he does it, that is the concern of Schulman through pedagogical content knowledge. 7 categories of knowledge. Schulman categorized teacher knowledge into content knowledge, general pedagogical knowledge, curriculum knowledge, pedagogical content knowledge, knowledge of learners and their characteristics, knowledge of educational context, and knowledge of educational ends, purposes and values. So many things he talks about in his theory, namely PCK, pedagogical content knowledge. 7 categories he talks about. Schulman categorized teacher knowledge into content knowledge, general pedagogical knowledge, curriculum knowledge, pedagogical content knowledge, knowledge of learners and their characteristics, knowledge of educational context, and knowledge of educational ends, purposes and values. I will just have a general understanding of all these. Perhaps you can explain a little. Content knowledge, that is mastery of the content. General pedagogical knowledge means the theoretical, the technical part. How he is going to transform this knowledge to the transform into the skills for the teacher, for the students. General pedagogical knowledge means his methods, the methods, techniques he will be using in the classroom in order to transform the knowledge into the meaningful knowledge for the students. General pedagogical knowledge. Curriculum knowledge, yes. So he must be understanding the curriculum knowledge. What are the different areas in curriculum, how the knowledge could be transformed or translated into the minds of the student, the curriculum knowledge. Pedagogical content knowledge, the knowledge of learners and their characteristics, knowledge of educational context, in which context it is taught, the knowledge of educational context, or knowledge of educational ends, purposes and values. So there are 7 categories of knowledge according to Schulman. Now let us discuss on the theories of Deng and Luke. So they are talking about knowledge domains. Deng and Luke talk about knowledge domains, Arivu Pulangal. They expanded on Schulman's work, focusing on the complexity and interconnectedness of different knowledge domains in teacher education. So what is the idea here? Actually, this is the extension of, their theory, the Deng's and Luke's theory is the extension of Schulman's theory. So but they are giving in a different words perhaps, on different style. So they focus on the complexity and interconnectedness of different knowledge domains in teacher education. So knowledge domain, it is part and parcel of this Deng and Luke's theory. Then curriculum making, they talk about curriculum making, how to make curriculum or how to prepare curriculum. They emphasize the importance of teachers as curriculum makers, not just implementers. What is happening nowadays, even in India, there are people who are at the top, they decide everything, and the teachers have to implement without even anything to be said about the syllabus. They haven't said anything about the syllabus. Simply they have to implement the syllabus given by the government. So that is what these people are against perhaps. This Deng and Luke. Now, when they talk about curriculum making, teachers should be making curriculum. They should not be mere implementers. Implementer means one who implements the principle, isn't it? So they should be curriculum makers, the teachers. So that way they highlight the dynamic interaction between curriculum content, pedagogy and the educational content. So dynamic interaction between curriculum content, pedagogy means techniques and methods of teaching, and the educational context. I mean, in which context they are teaching, educational context, whether it is in the rural or urban area, or CBSE or ordinary state board, English medium or Tamil medium, all the educational context. So they highlight this Deng and another person who is that Luke. They highlight the dynamic interaction between curriculum content, pedagogy and the educational context. Habermas, he gives a three knowledge interest. Habermas gives three knowledge interests. What are they? Technical interest, practical interest and emancipatory interest. Let us understand what they mean by these words. Technical interest. It is related to control and manipulation of the environment, focusing on empirical analytic sciences. Technical interest. So to control and manipulate the environment, focusing on empirical analytic sciences. That is technical interest. What is practical interest given by them? Oriented towards understanding and communication, central to the hermeneutic sciences. See, empirical analytic sciences is a more theoretical thing, very technical. Technical words are there. That is called the empirical analytic sciences. The words are related to the respective subject. If it is chemistry, it is a specialized knowledge. If it is mathematics, it is a specialized knowledge. So that way it is empirical analytic sciences. It could be seen, at the same time it has to be analyzed. So empirical analytic sciences, technical interest. Then practical interest, what does this mean? Oriented towards understanding and communication, central to the hermeneutic sciences means understanding. Hermeneutics means understanding the meaning of the concepts. Hermeneutic sciences, that is the idea. I mean, it gives the meaning of the sciences that are taught, hermeneutic sciences. So it is practical interest oriented towards understanding and communication. It derives a meaning out of this communication. That is the idea here, practical interest. Then emancipatory interest. It is concerned with the self-reflection and autonomy linked to critical social sciences. Emancipatory interest means, we are just freed from the clutches of, different opinions from others, other-centered opinions, or distractions, etc. So we are emancipating ourselves from that, and then we are having self-reflection and autonomy, independence, and not to be disturbed by others' opinions. That is the emancipatory interest linked to critical social sciences. So the different sciences, empirical analytic sciences, technical interest, hermeneutic sciences, that is understanding the meaning of the concept, that is called hermeneutic sciences. So the hermeneutic sciences belong to practical interest. whereas critical social sciences belong to emancipatory. Emancipatory means being freed, freedom, emancipatory. That is free interest that frees one from the distractions. In other words, emancipatory interest. It is concerned with the self-reflection and autonomy linked to critical social sciences. What is the implication for teacher education? It emphasizes the need for teachers to engage in critical reflection to foster autonomous and reflective learners. So, what is the implication of such, theories? All theories, Habermas or Deng, Luke or Schulman. What is the educational implication of such theories? Theories from all these people. Holistic development. Teachers need a well-rounded knowledge base encompassing content, pedagogy, curriculum, and an understanding of learners, all put together. So, need a well-rounded knowledge base that includes content, mastery of the content, subject matter, pedagogy, teaching techniques, all this, curriculum. See, it is given by everyone. The experts prepare along with the teachers, curriculum, and an understanding of learners. Learners also are important, so understanding of learners. So the holistic development, these theories talk about. That is the idea here. Then reflective practice. It encourages teachers to engage in a reflective practice to critically evaluate and improve their teaching. Reflective practice. So, these theories, whatever we have seen so far, these pedagogy theories encourage teachers to engage in reflective practice to critically evaluate and improve their teaching. Then also it does something for the curriculum development also. Sorry, teachers should be involved in curriculum development to adapt and contextualize learning experiences. Finally, they should be having thorough knowledge about their context, thorough knowledge about the subject matter, thorough knowledge of the learners, thorough knowledge of the curriculum itself. So, all these things are put together. So, the curriculum development, teachers should be involved in curriculum development to adapt and contextualize learning experience. They should be involved in curriculum development. That is what we say, in most of the countries it is not happening. Of course, our teachers are discussed at least here in India, but still decisions are taken at the higher level, looks like. Teachers should have the say with regard to the subject matter, curriculum development. That is the idea here. Then critical pedagogy, incorporating elements of critical pedagogy, Vimarsana Karpital Murigan. Critical pedagogy to promote social justice and empower students. So these are the things, that is holistic development, reflective practice, curriculum development, critical pedagogy, or are the things that we get from these theories. It imply all these things: critical pedagogy, curriculum development, reflective practice, and holistic development. So these theories reflect these concepts. Then meaning of reflective teaching and strategies for promoting reflective teaching. What is the meaning of reflective teaching? Reflective teaching involves self-examination and evaluation of one's teaching practices, aiming for continuous improvement and adaptation. I hope you understood this. So, reflective teaching involves self-examination, examining oneself. What is his nature of teaching? What are the talents he is having? What is the level of the understanding of the subject matter? All this self-examination and evaluation of one's own teaching practices. What type of techniques, strategies he is following. That is evaluation of one's teaching practices and aiming for continuous improvement and adaptation. Adaptation means often changing, the world is changing, educational scenarios are changing, so we have to adapt. Then improvement, at the same time we should be improving, continuous improvement should be there. So that is the reflective teaching. What are the key components of reflective teaching? It includes self-awareness, critical analysis of teaching methods, and a commitment to personal and professional growth. So these are the key components in reflective teaching. See, first of all, it is self-examination, and then teaching methods are critically analyzed, and there is a sense of commitment to personal and professional growth, and one is concerned about his personal and professional growth. These are all the key components of reflective teaching. What are the strategies for promoting reflective teaching? Journaling, encouraging teachers to keep reflective journals to document and analyze their teaching experience. Journaling means writing the diary. So to promote a reflective teaching, of course, what is written often seen and then reflected, isn't it? So that way journaling, it's a psychological word, journaling. That is with the purpose we are writing in the diary, whatever has happened in our life, all these things. So encouraging teachers to keep reflective journals to document and analyze their teaching experiences. Then peer observation, facilitating peer observations and feedback sessions to provide different perspectives on teaching practices. So we are talking about strategies for promoting reflective teaching. So peer observation is important for that. Facilitating peer observation and feedback sessions to provide different perspectives on teaching practices. Then collaborative reflection, another important thing in order to promote this critical or reflective teaching. How to promote reflective teaching? One of the ways is collaborative reflection. Creating opportunities for teachers to engage in group reflections and discussions to share insights and experiences, that is collaborative reflection. Then professional development workshops, offering workshops focused on reflective practices and strategies for self-improvement, professional development workshops. Then mentorships program, establishing mentorship programs where experienced teachers guide novice teachers in reflective practice. We are talking about teacher education. So the young teachers are given help by the experienced and mature teachers, in other words. So that is called mentorship programs. Occasionally we can even hold a formal meeting of this type. A senior teacher interacting with the junior teachers, those who have joined the teaching career, just now, at that time only. So they are new to the teaching career. So such teachers can have this method, that is mentorship programs. Then action research, encouraging teachers to undertake action research projects to systematically investigate and improve their teaching. Action research. Of course, we have studied in educational research also to solve the immediate problems in the classroom or in the school. Action research. So, encouraging teachers to undertake action research projects to systematically investigate and improve the teaching is one of the ways to promote what? That is reflective teaching. One of the ways to promote reflective teaching. What are the models of teacher education? What are the models of teacher education? Behavioristic model. What is the focus of behavioristic model? Nadattai madiri, So it emphasizes observable behaviors and skills using reinforcement and repetition to shape teaching practices. So that is the focus of behavioristic model. It emphasizes observable behaviors, கவனிக்கத்தக்க உற்று நோக்கக்கூடிய நடத்தைகள் and skills using reinforcement and repetition. வலுவூட்டம் செய்வதன் வழியாக, திரும்ப செய்வதன் வழியாக, சொல்லுவதன் வழியாக to shape teaching practices. So emphasizes observable behaviors and skills using reinforcement and repetition to shape teaching practice. That is the focus of behavioristic model. What is the approach of behavioristic model? Teacher training involves structured step-by-step processes, often with a focus on mastery of specific skills. That is the approach. Behavioristic model approach is this. Teacher training involves structured step-by-step processes, often with a focus on mastery of specific skills. So behavioristic model talks about the approach like this. Then critique. What is the criticism that can be leveled against this behavioristic model? It may overlook the importance of reflective practice and the complexity of teaching as an interactive and dynamic process. It may overlook the importance of reflective practice. Sometimes always self-examining and self-examining. Finally, there is no interaction and dynamic process in the classroom. So that is the criticism made against this model, that is behavioristic model. It is more personal, not that way, but teacher education has to be interactive with the student. He has to be interacting with the student, and he should be having dynamic process. For that reason, there is a problem here in the behavioristic model. So that is the criticism. That is, it may overlook the importance of reflective practice and the complexity of teaching as an interactive and dynamic process. Okay. Competency-based model, next one. What is the focus? It centers on the development of specific competencies or skills that teachers must demonstrate. Competency-based model. So it centers on the development of specific competency, Tirunelveli, Asiriyar Tirunelveli. What is the approach of competency-based model? Education programs are designed around clearly defined competencies with assessments to ensure these competencies are met. So, education program designed around clearly defined competencies, clear-cut definition of competency. நிச்சயமா இந்த திறன் தான் தேவை என்று சொல்லக்கூடிய அந்த உறுதி. So that is the approach of competency-based model. So the assessments to ensure these competencies are met. The assessments are also done in order to ensure these competencies are met. So competencies are mentioned here in this competency-based model. What are the competencies a teacher needs? One has to be sure about it, and then assessments are made whether these competencies have been achieved by the teachers or not. So that is the approach in competency-based model. Very scientific in its approach. What are the benefits of competency-based model? It provides a clear goals and standards for teacher performance, ensuring consistency and accountability. It provides clear goals and standards for teacher performance, ensuring consistency and accountability. It's a very important one. What is the critique? Critique means what is the criticism against this competency-based model? It may reduce teaching to a set of technical skills, neglecting the broader context and the reflective, adaptive nature of effective teaching. It will be very technical, in its approach. So it may be boring to the teachers as well as to the students. So the teacher has to have other skills also. So it neglects the broader context and the reflective, adaptive nature of effective teaching. It talks more about the technical aspect of skills. Right? That is the idea here. That is the criticism against competency-based model. So scientific in such a manner that it is not artistic or creative. That is the idea here. Then inquiry-oriented model. Next one. What is the focus of inquiry-oriented model? It encourages teachers to engage in inquiry and research as a means of professional development. So please mark these words. What is the inquiry-oriented model? What is the focus? It encourages teachers to engage in inquiry and research as a means of professional development. விமர்சன கண்ணோட்டத்தோடு ஆராய்ச்சி கண்ணோட்டத்தோடு இருந்தால் அதான் inquiry-oriented model. What is the approach of this inquiry-oriented model? Teachers are seen as researchers who continually investigate and reflect on their practice to improve and innovate. Very, very nice thing said about teacher education. Teachers are seen as researchers who continually investigate and reflect on their practice to improve and innovate. So the inquiry-oriented model is nothing but research-orientedness in teachers. They should be research-oriented in their approach. That is the idea here. What are the benefits of this inquiry-oriented model? It fosters a culture of continuous learning, critical thinking, and adaptability. How to be flexible in different situations. That is adaptability. So what is the criticism against this inquiry-oriented model, it may require a higher level of support and resources and can be challenging to implement effectively in all educational contexts. This is very important. In the cities, in the most developed school, all the resources they may be having for research orientedness of teachers. But whether all the schools will be having, there is a problem. That is why it is criticized. This model is criticized because this model may require a higher level of support and resources. So that way it can be challenging to implement effectively in our educational context. What are the educational implications? Diverse approaches. Teacher education programs should investigate elements from all three models to address the various dimensions of teaching. What are the educational implications from these three models? Now we are talking about it. There are diverse approaches. Teacher education programs should integrate elements from all three models. So many good things from three models. These good things should be taken in, should be integrated into the teacher's teaching. That is the idea here. So diverse approaches the teacher can learn through these models. Then balance of theory and practice. Ensuring a balance between theoretical knowledge and practical skill in teacher training. So these are all educational implications, from these three theories. Ensuring a balance between theoretical knowledge and practical skills in teacher training. Then reflective and adaptive practice. Promoting a reflecting and adaptive approach to teaching that encourages ongoing professional growth and a responsiveness to changing educational needs. So that is a reflective and adaptive practice a teacher will be having in his career. So these three models give that type of sense, the sense of reflective and adaptive practice. They are able to reflect back into the nature of teaching and they are able to become flexible to the situations. That is the idea here, reflecting and adaptive practice. So all three models give the teachers this particular aspect also. Then competence and inquiry, combining competency-based approaches with the inquiry-oriented practice. So you just blend. There are three models. You blend one with the other two or one with another like that. So the competency-based approaches with the inquiry-oriented practices to develop both technical proficiency and critical reflective capabilities in teachers. Both here. Technical proficiency, this one gives, that is inquiry, competency-based approaches. Inquiry-oriented practices, critical reflective capabilities into scientific orientation. So the technical proficiency and critical reflective capabilities in teachers, inquiry-oriented practices and competency-based approaches. Probably competency-based approaches give the teachers critical reflective capabilities and inquiry-oriented practices give technical proficiency for the teachers. So you could blend and then get a lot of profit from these two models. That is the idea here. Now understanding knowledge base of teacher education. We are asking some questions. Part B will be over with that. What does Lee Schulman refer to with the term pedagogical content knowledge? The knowledge of educational psychology, the understanding of how to teach specific content effectively, the knowledge of general teaching strategies, the familiarity with curriculum design. What does Lee Schulman refer to with the term? In other words, what is the meaning of pedagogical content knowledge? What is the meaning of pedagogical content knowledge? It is the understanding of how to teach a specific content effectively. There is subject matter, whether the teacher is having proper techniques, teaching methods to transform that knowledge into the minds of the student. Whether he has understood this particular aspect, that is what he is aiming at, Schulman. That is, the pedagogical content knowledge aims at it. Whether the teacher has the understanding between the subject matter of the subject matter as well as the techniques through which he could transform that subject matter into the minds of the student. Whether he has got that understanding, that is the idea. this particular concept gives, that is a pedagogical content knowledge. Even before teaching, the teacher should have this pedagogical content knowledge. I mean, the subject matter is, as for an example, mathematics. A plus b whole squared is equal to a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. We know that. Now, how this should be taught. Already the techniques that the teacher should have, through geometry he can teach, through the board he can teach, or through some blocks, the cardboard, cut into different pieces. Also he can teach. But that understanding you should have. Even before teaching, you should have that understanding of how he is going to transform his content into the minds of the teachers effectively, in the minds of the students effectively. So the understanding is very important here. The Schulman introduced the concept of pedagogical content knowledge to highlight the unique blend of content and pedagogy that teachers need. PCK refers to the specific knowledge teachers have about how to convey subject matter to students. I hope you understood this effectively, taking into account the difficulties students might face in learning specific topics. That's what I said, the a plus b whole squared equal to a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. But how this abstract, the mathematical formula can be understood by the student, the teacher has to think about it. Through what method or strategy this abstract concept could be given to the students effectively. That's through geometry or through concrete objects. All these things the teacher has to think about even before teaching. That knowledge he should be having. That is the idea here. Now, from the viewpoint of Deng and Luke, what question you can ask? According to Deng and Luke, what is a critical aspect of the knowledge base for teacher education? Technical skills in using educational technology, socio-cultural understanding and contextual knowledge, mastery of subject matter, ability to manage classroom behavior. So, according to Deng and Luke, what is a critical aspect of the knowledge base for teacher education? That is socio-cultural understanding and contextual knowledge. So that is the idea here. What is the question? What is a critical aspect of the knowledge base for teacher education? Critical aspect. That is socio-cultural. That is முக்கியமாக பெற்றுக்கொள்ள வேண்டிய ஒரு understanding. Socio-cultural understanding and contextual knowledge the teacher should have. Deng and Luke emphasize the importance of socio-cultural and contextual knowledge in the knowledge base for teacher education. They argue that teachers need to understand the cultural and social context in which the students live and learn, as well as how these contexts influence learning. I mean, the context also, context of education also, the teacher should be having. That's very important. So the socio-cultural and contextual knowledge in the knowledge base for teacher education. So that is the answer here. What is the question? Question is, what is a critical aspect of the knowledge base for teacher education? That is socio-cultural understanding and contextual knowledge. Now, there is another person, Habermas. What does Habermas' theory of communicative action contribute to the understanding of teacher education? What is Habermas' theory of communication? His is communicative action, isn't it? He talks about communication, through communication how the teachers are acting in the classroom. That is the idea. So Habermas' theory of communicative action contribute to the understanding of teacher education. What is that? Emphasizing technical knowledge, promoting instrumental rationality, highlighting the importance of dialogue and understanding, focusing on standardized testing. So what should be the answer? What does Habermas' theory of communicative action contribute to the understanding of teacher education? That is, highlighting the importance of dialogue and understanding. So the Habermas theory of communicative action stresses the importance of communication, dialogue and mutual understanding in social interactions, including education. In teacher education, this perspective, this idea, this view underscores or gives importance for the need to the need for teachers to engage in open dialogue with students and colleagues to create a more inclusive and effective learning environment. So finally, communication. Through communication, that is dialogue, isn't it? Through dialogue, there is mutual understanding, in social interaction between teachers and teachers, between teachers and students, etc. That is what Habermas theory of communicative action implies actually. Even though there are technical terms involved, the understanding is that. Now, so meaning of reflective teaching and strategies for promoting reflective teaching. What is the primary goal of reflective teaching? What is the primary reflective teaching? பிரதிபலிப்பு கற்பித்தல், பிரதிபலிப்பு, அதிக சிந்தனை, ஆழமாக சிந்தித்து ஒரு நல்ல முறையில் கற்பித்தல். What is the primary goal of reflective teaching? To strictly follow the curriculum, to improve teaching practices through self-assessment and reflection, to implement technology in the classroom, to adhere to standardized testing procedures. So what is the primary goal of reflective teaching? I think to improve teaching practices through self-assessment and reflection. That is the primary goal of reflective teaching. That is the primary goal of reflective teaching. That is to improve teaching practices through self-assessment and reflection. So the reflective teaching involves teachers critically examining their own practices, assessing their effectiveness, and making adjustment to improve their teaching and student learning outcomes. It is an ongoing process aimed at professional growth and development. So that's the idea here. The next question, which of the following is not a strategy for promoting reflective teaching? Not a strategy here. Maybe other alternatives or strategies. Only one statement which is not the strategy may be put there. So let us see. Which of the following is not a strategy for promoting reflective teaching? Keeping a teaching journal, engaging in peer observations, attending professional development workshops, relying solely on standardized test scores for feedback. So what is the idea? Which of the following is not a strategy for promoting reflective teaching? Relying solely on standardized test scores for feedback. That is not included here. It's not a strategy, but other things are strategies. Keeping a teaching journal, engaging in peer observations, and then attending professional development. All these things are important. But he is not talking about standardized tests for the reflective teaching. It doesn't include standardized test scores for feedback. That is something different. So relying solely on standardized test scores for feedback is the right answer here. It is not the strategy for promoting reflective teaching. So the reflective teaching strategies include keeping a teaching journal to document and analyze teaching experiences, engaging in peer observations to gain insights from colleagues, and attending professional development workshops to learn new methods and approaches. Completely relying on standardized test scores does not provide the comprehensive, the full understanding of the feedback necessary for reflective teaching. So I hope you understood. Again, I am just saying, reflective teaching strategies include keeping a teaching journal to document and analyze teaching experiences, engaging in peer observations to gain insights from colleagues, and attending professional development workshops to learn new methods and approaches. Completely relying on standardized test scores does not provide the full, the comprehensive feedback necessary for reflective teaching. Now let us ask some questions on models of teacher education. What is the key characteristics of the behavioristic model of teacher education? What is the key characteristic of the behavioristic model of teacher education? It focuses on teachers' beliefs and attitudes. It emphasizes on observable and measurable behaviors. It encourages self-directed learning. Last one, the promotion of collaborative learning environment. Now, what is the question? What is the key characteristics of the behavioristic model of teacher education? That is, emphasis on observable and measurable behavior. After all, any behavior will be, observed. So already we know that. So the emphasis on observable and measurable behaviors. That is what behavioristic model is all about, right? So the behavioristic model of teacher education focuses on observable and measurable behaviors. It emphasizes the acquisition of specific skills and behaviors through reinforcement and practice, often using a systematic and structured approach to teaching. So please understand this one. So it emphasizes the attainment of specific skills and behaviors through reinforcement and practice. வலுவூட்டம் செய்வது பயிற்சியின் வழியாக பெற்றுக்கொள்வது. Often using a systematic and structured approach to teaching. A little scientific approach. So behavioristic model talks about the scientific approach also. It implies scientific approach in teaching, systematic, structured approach. So all these things are about the behavioristic model of teacher education. Then what is competency-based model? What question you could ask here? Which statement best describes the competency-based model of teacher education? It is centered around theoretical knowledge. It prioritizes the mastery of specific competencies or skills. It focuses on the teacher's personal development. It relies heavily on standardized testing. So what is the question? Which statement, we are talking about competency-based model. Which statement best describes the competency-based model of teacher education? It is centered on theoretical knowledge. It prioritizes the mastery of specific competencies or skills. It focuses on the teacher's personal development. It relies heavily on standardized testing. Well, it prioritizes the mastery of specific competencies or skills. That is what we have seen in the descriptions, in the theoretical description. So it prioritizes the mastery of specific competencies or skills. So the competency-based model of teacher education emphasizes the mastery of specific competencies or skills that are deemed essential for effective teaching. This model assesses teachers based on their ability to demonstrate these competencies in practice. Then inquiry-oriented model. What question you could ask with regard to inquiry-oriented model? What is the main focus of the inquiry-oriented model of teacher education? What is the main focus? The strict adherence to a fixed curriculum, the exploration and questioning of teaching practices, the replication of traditional teaching methods, the use of standardized testing for assessment. So what is the main focus of inquiry-oriented model of teacher education? The exploration and questioning of teaching practice. Of course, inquiry model means it is already questioning. Through that we can find out the answer. So the exploration and questioning of teaching practices. The inquiry-oriented model encourages teachers to engage in continuous exploration, questioning and investigation of their teaching practices. It promotes a reflective and analytical approach to teaching, aiming for ongoing improvement and innovation in education. So this question and answer provide a comprehensive overview, specified topics. But there is no need for this, I think. Yeah. Now part C. Of course, I don't know whether you are tired. Some of you may be watching, I think, since it is YouTube live. I don't know whether we have to finish it or we can continue other two parts in a separate video. Maybe we put it in one video together, even though it is tiresome. No other go. You can learn bit by bit. Not necessarily you should learn in one slot. Just 10 minutes or 30 minutes each. You can learn. You can go through this perhaps. But anyhow, let me try to finish. The entire thing within this time frame. Already it is 11:20. In-service teacher education, essential points and insights. What is the concept, need, purpose and scope? What is the concept of in-service teacher education? It refers to the ongoing training and professional development of teachers who are already in service, aimed at enhancing their skills and knowledge. What is the need of in-service training? That is continuous improvement to keep teachers updated with the latest educational practices, technologies and methodologies. That is the purpose. Then there is professional growth to foster personal and professional development, helping teachers advance in their careers. This is the need for such a need arises there. No? So this is one of the needs for in-service training, professional growth. Then student outcomes, that is another thing. A teacher has to improve himself and finally he has to produce effective outcomes from the students. So to improve teaching effectiveness, thereby enhancing student learning outcomes. What is the purpose of in-service training? Skill enhancement, updating and refining teaching skills and techniques. Knowledge upgradation, keeping abreast with the new educational research, curricula and policies. Up-to-date knowledge in other words. Then adaptability, flexibility. It helps teachers to adapt to changes in educational systems and societal needs. Flexibility, in accepting or in implementing. Flexibility, adaptability. The leadership development, preparing teachers for leadership roles within the educational system. Now, what is the scope of in-service training? That is broad coverage. It includes workshops, seminars, courses, conferences and self-study. And a variety of topics are given in service training. It ranges from subject-specific content, pedagogical strategies, classroom management, to educational, up to educational technology. Everything is given. All levels applicable at primary, secondary and higher education levels. It is not restricted to one level of teaching, primary, secondary, higher education. In service training is given to all types. There are organization and modes. How to organize in service training. Structured programs often organized by educational authorities, universities and dedicated training institutes. Collaboration, it involves a cooperation among various educational agencies and stakeholders. Then flexible formats, it can include on-site training, online courses and blended learning approaches. In which mode it is taught? Workshop and seminars, short-term intensive training sessions focused on specific topics. There are online courses, another mode. Flexible, self-paced learning opportunities accessible remotely. There are conferences, forums for sharing knowledge, networking and professional development. There are peer learning, collaborative learning experiences among teachers. So it is possible through in-service training, collaborative learning experiences among teachers. Discussion among teachers, that way so many things are learned, peer learning. What are the agents and institutions with regard to this in-service training? District level, district institutes of education and training. It provides a localized in-service education and training. Then state level, State Council of Educational Research and Training, SCRT, it develops curricula and conducts training programs for teachers at state level. Then Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan, RMSA, especially for secondary education students, the 9th and 10th students actually. See, till 8th standard people were talking about so many things, all the commissions. Plus 1, plus 2 people were talking about so many methods, techniques, everything. College level people were talking. But of very late they came to realize that this secondary education was left out. That is why this Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan came into existence. It is mainly for secondary education. So much of money was allotted for primary education. So much money was allotted for higher education, higher secondary education. But even ordinary and physical facilities were not there in so many schools with regard to 9th and 10th standard. That is secondary school, stage. That is why Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan. Okay, I hope you will understand this. So it focuses on secondary education improvement, including teacher training. The national level, National Council of Educational Research and Training, that is NCRT. It develops a national curriculum frameworks and conducts training programs. National Council for Teacher Education regulates the teacher education and ensures quality standards. University Grants Commission, it oversees higher education institutions and funds teacher development programs. That Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan is for elementary school. It aims to universalize elementary education and includes teacher training components. Preliminary consideration in planning. What are the preliminary? In the beginning, primary considerations in planning. Preliminary, at the outset, at the beginning. What is the purpose of this preliminary consideration in planning? Clear objectives, defining what the in-service program aims to achieve. Then relevance, ensuring the program meets the current needs of teachers and the education system. Before conducting in-service training, you should have clear objectives and it should be relevant for the teachers. We cannot give anything irrelevant. The in-service training means it really upgrading the knowledge of the teachers. It updates the knowledge of the teachers. If that is the case, the in-service training should be having clear objectives and it should be relevant. What is the duration of in-service training? Appropriate length will be balancing comprehensive coverage with the time constraint to avoid overburdening teachers. The duration should be balanced, in other words. It should not be overburdening the teachers, the training. There is sustainable time, normally given 21 days. For the school teachers are for 5 days even. They can't afford to take so much leave, so many days of leave. And for that reason, it's kept for 3 days or 4 days, even 2 days. Whereas for the college, 21 days refresher course. So appropriate length should be there and sustainable timing. Scheduling programs to fit within teachers' academic calendars without disrupting classroom activity. That is the idea here. Normally it is conducted during quarterly holidays, quarterly exam holidays, half-yearly exam holidays, or in the month of April or May, after the academic work is over. So there will be a sustainable time. What are the resources for in-service training? Material and financial resources, ensuring availability of training materials, access to technology and adequate funding. Human resources involving experienced educators, trainers and experts to deliver quality training. What should be the budget for in-service training? Adequate funding. That is allocating sufficient budgets to cover all aspects of the training program, including materials, facilitators and logistics. That cost effectiveness, ensuring that the resources are utilized efficiently to maximize the impact of the training. That is cost effectiveness. சுருங்க சொல்லி விளக்க வைத்தல் போல சரியாக பட்ஜெட் செய்து பெருமளவிலே பயனடையுது. So cost effectiveness. So that is the idea here. Then what are the educational implications of this teacher education structure? In-service training structure. Enhanced teaching quality. Regular in-service education leads to better teaching practices and improved student performance. Then professional development. Teachers gain new skills and knowledge, leading to career advancement and job satisfaction. Professional development. Then adaptability. Teachers become more adept at integrating new technologies and methodologies into the teaching. Then consistency and standardization. Consistency and standardization. It ensures that all teachers meet certain standards of competency and professionalism. And collaboration networking. It provides opportunities for teachers to connect, share experience and collaborate on educational initiatives. So in-service teacher education is critical for maintaining the quality of education and ensuring that teachers remain effective and motivated throughout their careers. Now some questions could be asked on in-service training. What is the primary purpose of in-service teacher education? Is it to assess student learning, to improve teachers' professional skills, to evaluate curriculum effectiveness, or to reduce educational costs? That is to improve teachers' professional skills, no doubt about it. In-service teacher education aims to enhance the professional skills and knowledge of teachers who are already in service, ensuring they stay updated with the latest education practices and methodologies. Why is there a need for in-service teacher education? To decrease teacher overload, to help teachers meet new education standards, to replace outdated textbooks, to reduce student-teacher ratio. What is the correct answer? Why is there a need for in-service teacher education? That is to reduce, to help teachers meet new education standards. That is very important. I mean, they are updating their knowledge and they are becoming more and more modern with more creativity. That is the idea of in-service training. So, in-service teacher education is essential for helping teachers adapt to new education standards and reforms, ensuring they can effectively deliver contemporary curricula and meet students' evolving needs. Students' needs are also changing. So, accordingly, the teachers have to cater to the needs of the student, modern student. Then in-service teacher education is only possible. There only they can get the necessary knowledge. That is the idea here. Which of the following best describes the scope of in-service teacher education? It is limited to primary school teachers. It includes both academic and non-academic professional development. It focuses solely on technology integration. It is applicable only during the first year of schooling. What is the question? Which of the following best describes the scope of in-service teacher education? That is, it includes both academic and non-academic professional development. Both academic as well as non-academic. The scope of in-service teacher education encompasses a wide range of professional development activities, including academic content knowledge, pedagogy, even personal growth. Personality development also comes in there in the in-service program or refresher course. So that is the idea here. Which concept does not align with the purpose of in-service teacher education among the four alternatives? Lifelong learning for teachers, whether it is aligning with the purpose of in-service training, lifelong learning for students, initial teacher certification, continuous professional development, adapting to educational changes. So, which concept does not align with the purpose of in-service teacher education? It is not merely getting certification. The in-service training is conducted not to get certificate. It is more than that. Just quality instruction is given to the teachers, or quality learning happens in in-service training. That is the idea here. So, which is not aligning. Lifelong learning, yes. In-service training is for lifelong learning. Continuous professional development, yes. Adapting to educational changes, yes. Flexibility. But initial teacher certificate, that is not the purpose. They need not go for in-service training in order to get teacher certificate, isn't it? So that is the idea here. The initial teacher certification is a wrong word here. In-service teacher education focuses on continuous professional development for teachers who are already certified. Already they have been certified. Whereas initial teacher certificate is part of pre-service training. So pre-service training you need it, but in-service training you don't need, because it is done after you become a teacher. That is the idea here. Then with regard to organization and modes of in-service teacher education, which mode of in-service teacher education involves teachers attending workshops and seminars? Which mode of in-service teacher education? Is it online course, distance learning, face-to-face training, self-directed learning? Which mode face-to-face? Some experts come and they give training to the teachers. Very great experienced professors, those who are specialized in a particular area of subject, they come and give actually the in-service training. So that way, what is the mode? Face-to-face training. Face-to-face training includes in-person workshops and seminars where teachers can interact with the trainers and peers, facilitate hands-on learning and immediate feedback. Which of the following is a decentralized mode of organizing in-service teacher education? Which of the following is a decentralized mode of organizing in-service teacher education? Decentralized. That means, it is given to many. The work is divided and given to many people, representatives. So decentralized, delegated in other words. So centralized state level programs, school-based training, national conferences, international exchange program. That is school-based training. So which of the following is a decentralized mode of organizing service teacher education? That is school-based training. Why we say so? School-based training is a decentralized mode where professional development activities are conducted within the school, allowing for context-specific training and collaboration among staff. So this is the right answer here. It is a decentralized mode of organizing service teacher education. See, not at a particular place, in the center. In the school itself it is done. So that is the idea here. School-based training is a, what is that? The more decentralized mode of organizing in-service teacher education. What is the main benefit of using online courses for in-service teacher education? What is the main benefit of using online courses for in-service teacher education? That is increased flexibility and accessibility. That is the idea, no? Online courses for in-service teacher education. Increased flexibility and accessibility. Online courses offer flexibility in terms of time and location. During Corona, that's what happened. Even refresher courses, in-service training was done through online courses during Corona time. Nobody could come out, so through online classes were taken. So online courses offer flexibility in terms of time and location, making it easier for teachers to participate in professional development without disrupting their teaching schedules. Which mode of in-service teacher education emphasizes independent study and personal reflection? Mentoring and coaching, self-directed learning, collaborative learning, formal course work. So which mode of in-service teacher education emphasizes independent study, very important. So independent study and personal reflection, that is self-directed learning. The person studies himself, that is self-directed learning. So self-directed learning allows teachers to take charge of their own professional development by setting their own goals, choosing their learning resources and reflecting on their progress. Now let us talk about agencies and institutions of the in-service teacher education at district, state and national levels. Which agency at the national level is primarily responsible for setting standards and regulating teacher education in India? That is NCT, everyone knows. The National Council for Teacher Education is the national regulatory body responsible for setting standards and guidelines for teacher education in India. Which institution is responsible for providing academic support and training at the state level? That is SCRT, State Councils of Educational Research and Training. They are responsible for providing academic support, conducting research, and organizing training programs for teachers at the state level. What role does the NCRT play in in-service teacher education? It conducts research and develops training materials, very important in NCRT. That is the role NCRT plays. That is, it provides it conducts research and develops training materials. The National Council of Educational Research and Training conducts educational research, develops curricular and training materials, and provides support for in-service teacher education programs. Which of the following is an initiative aimed at improving secondary education through in-service teacher training? So secondary education we already discussed. RMSA. What is RMSA? The Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan. It's an initiative focused on enhancing the quality of secondary education in India, including through the professional development of teachers, both. Now, preliminary consideration, what question you could ask on the preliminary condition in planning in-service teacher education program? Which factor is not a primary consideration when planning an in-service teacher education program? Teacher's age. For in-service training, we should not worry about the teacher's age. When there is a need, we should go. When planning an in-service teacher education program, consideration typically include the purpose of the training, duration, available resources and budget. The age of teachers is not usually a primary factor. Why is it important to define the purpose of an in-service teacher education program? To ensure all teachers attend, to align the training with specific goals, to reduce training costs, to limit the program's duration. Why is it important? To define the purpose of an in-service teacher education program, to align the training with the specific goals. For teacher training, there should be specific goals for refresher course. So, your program, the in-service program, should align with the training with the specific goals. Defining the purpose of an in-service teacher education program ensures that the training is aligned with the specific educational goals and objectives, making it more effective and irrelevant. What is the key consideration when determining the duration of an in-service teacher education program? What is the key consideration determining the duration of the in-service teacher education program? That is the academic calendar and teacher schedule. See, during the holidays only teachers could come for in-service training. So that is why the academic calendar and teacher schedule is the right one. The duration of the program must be planned in consideration of the academic calendar and teacher schedule to minimize the disruption or difficulty to regular teaching duties and maximize participation. Participation. Of course, more people will come during holidays. That is maximizing participation. How do resources and budget impact the planning of in-service teacher education program? How do resources and budget impact the planning of in-service teacher education? They limit the scope and scale of the program. Otherwise, so many you have 4 or 5 days. Suppose somebody thinks of 15 days, then you need more budget. So that way, this budgeting limits the scope and scale of the program. Resources and budget are crucial in determining the scope and scale of an in-service teacher education program, affecting aspects such as the number of participants, the duration of training, and the quality of materials provided. Now, the last one, perhaps we will finish it. I think it is taking a lot of time, but nevertheless, at one go you will be able to see everything. The basic concept, if you learn, any other question you will be able to solve. That is the idea. So maybe I will, I don't want to split it into 4 parts. You may lose motivation to read everything. If you are able to read everything at one go, even in one place, that would be beneficial for most of the students. That is the idea I am giving at a stretch, giving this video at a stretch. Now, just we will finish it. I think only some points will be there. Concept of profession and professionalism. Teaching as a profession, professional ethics of teachers. Personal and contextual factors affecting teacher development. ICT integration, quality enhancement for professionalization of teacher education, innovation in teacher education. These are the topics we are going to discuss. What is the concept of profession and professionalism? Essential points. Profession means what? An occupation requiring specialized knowledge and often long and intensive academic preparation. That is profession. What is professionalism? Conduct, aims or qualities that characterize a profession or professional person. This includes following ethical standards, a commitment to ongoing learning, and a sense of responsibility to serve society. All these things come under professionalism. I mean the behavior, aims, there are so many qualities a teacher should have as a professional. Service mindedness, 24-hour job, a sense of responsibility to serve society. These are all good qualities of professionalism, essential qualities of professionalism. What are the educational implications? Emphasizes the need for teachers to acquire specialized knowledge and skills. Encourages the establishment of professional development programs to maintain high standards. It promotes a culture of continuous improvement and ethical practice within educational institutions. So these are all educational implications of professionalism. How teaching becomes a profession? How teaching becomes a profession? Teaching requires a specialized knowledge, skills, and a commitment to student development. So it involves a pedagogical expertise, curriculum understanding, and the ability to foster a positive learning environment. So teachers must engage in continuous professional development. That is the idea here. That is why teaching becomes a profession, because of these reasons. Then what are the educational implications of this? It calls for rigorous teacher education programs to prepare effective educators. It highlights the importance of ongoing professional development and support. It recognizes teaching as a career requiring dedication and a professional attitude. Very important. That is what professionalism means. That is a career requiring dedication and a professional attitude, service-minded attitude. What is the professional ethics of teachers? What are the important points here? Professional ethics encompasses the values and principles that guide teachers' conduct, teachers' behavior. So, what are the key aspects of this professional ethics? Integrity, நேர்மை, fairness, நீதி, respect, responsibility, and commitment to student welfare. What are the educational implications? It necessitates the inclusion of ethics training in teacher education programs, ensures the development of code of conduct for teachers to maintain high standards of behavior. It promotes an ethical culture within schools, fostering trust and respect among students, parents, and staff. Then personal contextual factors affecting teacher development. Personal and contextual factors. What are the important points here? It includes the individual motivation, beliefs, prior experience means previous experiences, and personal circumstances. What are the contextual factors? It encompasses school environment, administrative support, societal expectations, and policy frameworks. Contextual factors, situational factors. What are the educational implications? Teacher development programs must be tailored to address both personal and contextual factors. Schools should provide supportive environments that encourage teacher growth. Policies should be flexible. Teacher policies should be flexible to accommodate diverse teacher needs and contexts. Then ICT integration, another important idea. Integrating information and communication technology enhances teaching and learning processes. ICT tools can facilitate interactive learning, personalized instruction, and access to a vast array of resources. What are the educational implications with regard to ICT training? Teacher education programs should incorporate ICT training to prepare educators for modern classrooms. Schools need to invest in infrastructure and ongoing support for effective ICT integration. Already we have studied even in research we have studied in teaching aptitude also we have studied. The same points are given here. It encourages the development of digital literacy among students and teachers. What do you mean by quality enhancement for professionalization of teacher education? It focuses on improving the standards and effectiveness of teacher education programs. It involves accreditation, that is evaluation, continuous assessment, and feedback mechanisms. What are the educational implications of this? Implementing quality assurance processes to ensure high standards in teacher education. That is why NAC team is there. The NAC, N-A-A-C, NAC. They go and evaluate the universities, colleges, in order to give them high standard, high rank. So that is a quality assurance process. So it is happening because of this one, in teacher education, in order to create high standards. So it emphasizes the need for research-based practices and evidence-informed teaching methods. It promotes a partnership between educational institutions and other stakeholders for continuous improvement. Let us talk about innovation teacher education. That is Pudumai. ஆசிரியர் கல்வியில் புதுமைகள். So innovation includes the adoption of new teaching methods, technologies, and educational models. It encourages creative problem solving and adaptability among teachers. So that is innovation in teacher education. What are the educational implications of this innovation in teacher education? Teacher education programs should encourage experimentation with the new ideas and practices. So that implies, this innovation means, in teacher education there should be experiments with the new ideas and practices. That is the idea here. Schools and educational institutions must support innovative approaches to teaching and learning. It fosters an environment where teachers feel empowered to implement and share innovative practices. So that is another idea. By understanding and applying these points and insight, educators and policymakers can work towards enhancing the quality and effectiveness of teacher education, ultimately leading to improved educational outcomes for students. Now, what is the concept of profession? Some questions we are going to ask. I think some 10 questions will be there. Let us finish it once and for all, even though we are taking much time here for this unit, but it is worthwhile. In one place we will be having, in one video, we will be having all concepts. That is the great benefit, I believe. Of course, it will be tiresome for you, but why should you study at one go? No, you can learn this, or you can read my version bit by bit, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, something like. Nothing wrong in it. But let me give it, in one video, so that everything is there. At any time you can refer to these concepts. So, what distinguishes a profession from other occupations? Important question. Why is continuous learning essential for professionals? What role do ethical standards play in defining professionalism? Okay, these are big questions. We are worried about the objective question. What is the key characteristic of a profession? It requires a minimal academic preparation. It involves a specialized knowledge. It offers informal training. It lacks ethical standards. What is a key characteristic of a profession? It involves specialized knowledge. A profession typically requires extensive and specialized knowledge, often gained through prolonged academic training. Why is adherence to ethical standards important to professionalism? It improves financial gains, it ensures professional development, it maintains public trust, it simplifies tasks. What is the correct answer? Why do you follow the ethical standards in professionalism? That is the question here. It maintains a public trust. That is very important. The teachers are considered to be almost divine beings in India. They are gurus. Even in ancient India, teachers were considered to be gurus. But even now in villages, all the teachers are considered to be gurus only. They can't afford to see any teacher making any mistake, or using filthy language, or indulging in wrong behavior or anything. Even now it's happening. The slightest provocation is enough. Immediately the teacher is arrested nowadays. Even if people give false cases, teachers are arrested because it maintains public trust. Teacher means there is public trust. So if there is even there is a guesswork, still one has to be much worried about it. Sometimes people make in other words, false charges. That is also happening nowadays. Because all these things about public trust. That is why it is happening. Right or wrong, it is happening. It is because of public trust. Ethical standards are crucial for maintaining the trust of the public and the integrity of the profession. What does professionalism in the context of a profession include? In other words, what is professionalism? That is commitment to ongoing learning. Out of the four only you have to take. There are so many things about professional ethics, but here you have to see among the four alternatives which is the correct one. Ignoring ethical standards, focusing solely on personal gain, commitment to ongoing learning, avoiding responsibility. That is commitment to ongoing learning. Professionalism includes a commitment to continuous improvement and adherence to ethical standards. So teaching as a profession. Okay. Which of the following best describe teaching as a profession? That is an occupation. Focused on student development. Among the four, you have to see. Of course, if you read that, you will find out. All these things come there in the teaching aptitude also. The first unit, the more or less the same ideas are coming there. But you just read the content and read the alternative. In no time you will be able to get the correct answer. So professionalism, you must know what is the meaning of it. So, an occupation focused on student development. Here, among the four alternatives, this is the best one. Teaching as a profession emphasizes the development and growth of students requiring specialized skills and knowledge. Why is continuous professional development important for teachers? That is to improve student outcomes. Out of the four only you have to take. Of course, there are so many other factors, but still, in this question you have to see the best answer. So why is continuous professional development important for teachers? To improve student outcomes. That is the best answer. Continuous professional development helps teachers stay updated with the latest educational practices, enhancing their ability to support student learning effectively. If they are good, they will be, and the students also will be good. In other words, if they are having mastery of the content, I am sure students also will be getting the mastery of the content through such teachers. That is the idea here. What is pedagogical expertise in teaching involved? What is pedagogical expertise in teaching involved? That is a knowledge of classroom decor, understanding curriculum and teaching methods, mastery of administrative tasks, ability to give grades. Understanding curriculum and teaching methods, very important one. With regard to pedagogical expertise means what? அதாவது கற்பித்தல் அறிவாற்றல், கற்பித்தல் அறிஞர் அப்படின்னா, கற்பித்தலின் அறிஞர் அப்படின்னு சொன்னால், that is what pedagogical expertise தான். That is nothing but understanding curriculum and teaching method. அது உணர்ந்து கொண்டவர் கற்பித்தலின் அறிஞராக இருப்பார். Pedagogical expertise includes a deep understanding of how to teach effectively, including curriculum design and instructional strategies. Okay, professional ethics of teachers. Which value is a key aspect of professional ethics for teachers? Integrity. Among the four, competitiveness, integrity, wealth accumulation, personal fame, integrity, நேர்மையாளராக. So integrity is a fundamental value in professional ethics, giving teachers to act honestly and ethically. அறநெறி மற்றும் நேர்மை ரெண்டு கலந்தது தான் இன்டெகிரிட்டி என்று சொல்லக்கூடிய ஒரு பண்பு. How do professional ethics affect the teacher-student relationship? By creating a competitive environment, by fostering trust and respect, by simplifying teaching methods, by reducing the workload, by fostering trust and respect. Adherence to professional ethics helps build a positive and respectful relationship between teachers and students. Why should ethics training be included in teacher education program? To ensure high standards of behavior, to make teachers more popular, to reduce training costs, to increase job opportunities. That is, to ensure high standards of behavior. Ethics training helps teachers understand and uphold high standards of professional behavior, benefiting the entire educational community. Then, with regard to personal and contextual factors affecting teacher development, what questions you could ask? Which is an example of a personal factor affecting teacher development among the four? Which is an example of a personal factor affecting teacher development? School policies, individual motivation, community expectations, government regulation. That is the individual motivation. Personal factors means, naturally individual motivation, no? You could just align the words like that. The personal factors such as motivation, beliefs and previous experiences significantly impact a teacher's professional growth. What is a contextual factor that can influence teacher development? Contextual means what is immediately beside the teacher, no? What is surrounding the teacher? That is the environment. But with regard to teacher, school environment, that is the idea, no? We can easily find out. So what is the contextual factor that can influence teacher development? School environment. Contextual factors include the external elements like the school environment and administrative support that affect teacher development. Then why is it important to consider both personal and contextual factors in teacher development programs? Why is it important to consider both personal and contextual factors? Both are needed in teacher development programs. Why? To streamline administrative processes, to provide a one-size-fits-all approach, to tailor programs to diverse needs, to focus solely on external factors, to tailor programs to diverse needs. Considering both personal and contextual factors ensures that teacher development programs are effective and meet the varied needs of educators. With regard to ICT integration, what question you can ask? What is the primary benefit of integrating ICT in education? ICT tools facilitate interactive and engaging learning experiences, improving educational outcomes. Integrating means பரஸ்பர தகவல் தொடர்பு, ஆசிரியர் மாணவர்களிடையே உறவு, ஆசிரியர்களுடைய உறவு. That is interactive, engaging learning experiences. What is the common challenge of integrating ICT in schools? Insufficient infrastructure. Today we are unable to do it in most of the schools because there is no connection, no? So it is the challenge, integrating ICT in schools. So many things are absent. Why is digital literacy crucial for a teacher? Digital, online literacy, computer knowledge, digital literacy. Why is it needed? Digital, to effectively use technology in teaching, digital literacy enables teachers to leverage technology for enhancing teaching and learning process. Then, which is the key element of quality enhancement in teacher education? Which is the key element, quality enhancement in teacher. அதாவது இந்த ஆசிரியர் கல்வியிலே குவாலிட்டி என்ஹான்ஸ்மெண்ட், அந்த தரத்தை வளப்படுத்துவதற்கான மிக முக்கியமான அந்த விஷயம் என்ன, கீ எலமெண்ட் என்ன? ஸோ ஆர்பிட்ரரி எவாலுவேஷன்ஸ், கண்டினியூஸ் அசஸ்மெண்ட், ரெடியூசிங் எஜுகேஷனல் ஸ்டாண்டர்ட், eliminating feedback mechanism, continuous assessment. That only can help raise the quality. So many things are there, infrastructure facilities are there, teachers are there, everything is there. But unless there are continuous, assessment, we cannot improve. What is right, what is wrong, what should be changed. All these things happen because of continuous assessment. So that is the key element of quality enhancement in teacher education. Continuous assessment helps in maintaining and improving the quality of teacher education programs. How can feedback mechanisms improve teacher education? There are 4 alternatives. How can feedback mechanisms improve teacher education? Among the 4 alternatives, which would be the best one, by offering constructive insights for improvement. That is the best answer here. By providing one-time evaluation, ignoring student input, offering constructive insight for improvement, by focusing on administrative efficiency, which is the best one? By offering constructive insight for improvement. Feedback mechanism provide valuable information that can help refine and enhance teacher education programs. Why are partnership between education institutions and stakeholders important? பங்குதாரர்கள். To increase bureaucratic control, to ensure continuous improvement, to reduce teacher workload, to limit innovation in teaching. That is to ensure continuous improvement. Partnership helps in pooling resources and expertise, leading to continuous improvement in teacher education. Finally, innovation teacher education. What question you can ask with regard to teacher innovation in teacher education? What is the primary goal of innovation in teacher education? Adopting new teaching method. The very innovation means in new. So adopting new teaching methods. Innovation aims at improving teaching and learning by incorporating new methods and technologies. How can new educational models benefit students? By reducing learning opportunities, by enhancing personalized instruction, by limiting classroom interaction, by increasing textbook reliance. So how can new educational models benefit students? By enhancing personalized instruction, very important one. How can educational models benefit students? Here we are talking of students. By enhancing personalized instruction. New educational models often provide more personalized and effective learning experience for students. Why should teacher education program encourage experimentation with the new ideas? That is to promote creative problem solving. Encouraging experimentation with the new ideas fosters creativity and adaptability among teachers, leading to better educational practices. That is important. I hope you understood the most basic concepts, even though I was little fast. All these things are not new to you. That's why. Only thing I am just reminding you of all the concepts that you have learnt in M.Ed program or any other program through seminars, everything. So my idea is that I want to take you all the concepts in one video. I have achieved that, even though it is pretty long. But God bless you abundantly. If anybody has been with me all 3 hours, God bless you wonderfully. I'll pray for your great success. God bless you. Kindly subscribe so that my videos become more valuable. Thank you very much for your presence.